Because I don't know a single black person in real life who wears this other than me. And then the people that I actually see wear it are online. There's a whole line called Black Girl Sunscreen, and I only ever see white girls wear it in real life, you know? I'm glad that they have that as an option, but it would be nice to see, which is part of the inspiration over my channel. Look, you can see the sun damage here. You can tell I put a lot of sunscreen here, down very well, but here, I don't like wearing short sleeve shirts because I don't like to apply. It's not horrible, but you know, there is definitely suntan there. And also, you can notice the same thing here. You can see the inside of the arm is a lot lighter because my arm is in like this, and the outside, like my turtle shell, right, is getting all of the sun damage as this is in, this is out. So you can see the tanning. Granted, I don't burn easily. I do burn. When you know what you're seeing, you know what you're seeing. Yeah, I don't turn pink, I don't turn red, right? I get darker, sure, but I see a nice undertone on my skin, and it's irritated, and I understand that that is a sunburn for me. So if you have dark skin complexion, don't get it twisted. This is for you. Don't forget the ears, don't forget the eyes. Otherwise you'll have raccoon eyes. If you do everything else well and then you avoid the eyes, you will get raccoon eyes. You know what I mean by that, right? Let me know if you guys know what I mean by raccoon eyes, because this is like actually this is a great example of it. The darkness, because the sunscreen blocks the tanning. So if you don't put the sunscreen here, you're gonna be dark. Simple math. I don't want to treat anybody like they're stupid, but the sunscreen game, it is not very well documented, and that's why I'm here. I really like the way my skin looks in the sun, especially with this lotion on. I have a thick layer of Vaseline under this actually, and I don't usually put Vaseline on during the day because I know I have to put on sunscreen, and that may make you want to put on less sunscreen because you're going to be greasy and all of that. But I don't mind the greasiness. I like shiny, so bring it on. I look like a disco ball today. Bring it on. But yeah, you could totally see the sun damage. I look like a very cooked chicken, not as cooked chicken. I know I'm not tripping. I've got to get way better at reapplying on my arms. And I already know I don't like applying to my arms, but it's interesting to see that a whole summer of avoidance, my skin would be closer to this color, but because I've avoided, it's close to this color. My elbows, not so bad, not so bad. And as I've done yesterday, I am going to put on the Equate sunscreen on my legs. Now, I know you've seen me put on a lot of this. The more, the merrier. Do not be light-handed with this, is also something I wanted to mention. If you know, you know, but if you don't, you don't. Sunscreen is expensive, especially the way that you're supposed to be using it. They say to put this on your face and neck, but I put a lot on my face, and I'm just gonna put this on the back of my neck because I have a dark back of my neck currently that I'm working on. And because I put on things such as retinoids and lactic acid, which is an acid that turns the skin over, it fluffs off the dead skin cells, and so does the retinol, and then it makes the baby new skin come up. So, as you can see, I have a pretty dark neck. Yes, I do. But I go in, and when I go down, you probably can't hear me well, but I always make sure that I go down a little bit in case my shirt moves, and I don't want to have any weird tan lines. I used to not do that. I used to be like so specific, and then I realized like, the shirt moves, you get weird tan lines, and then you don't know where they're coming from. Then I start to blame the sunscreen, which was perfectly fine. It was my application that was faulty. Or I start to blame another skincare that was perfectly fine, and I'm just blaming it for all my issues. I sense hyperpigment right here. This is like my melasma spot, my big melasma spot. So I've gotten the eyes. I'm gonna show you again. I'll put on more if you must see. This does not burn my eyes. Sunscreen is known and is famous for burning the eyes. This was way more than I'd hoped for, but I just wanted to show you, I am not sponsored, so I have no reason to lie. This really doesn't burn the eyes. Blah, 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 blink, 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 blink. This is a full chemical sunscreen. So it says that it has avobenzone, homosalate, octisalate, and octocrylene. I know I said it doesn't burn my eyes, but what I mean by that is, I know it sounds pretty self-explanatory, but sunscreen is interesting, so hear me out. So the burning means it is not really good for your eyes. The sunscreen is formulated for your eyes. Just one moment. It's formulated for your eyes, but what I'm trying to say is you personally are not reacting to the 2% of avobenzone, or the, 7.5% of the homosalate, which are the active components of the sunscreen, which are fairly gentle, but maybe, and they're good at their job. They're good at helping you not tan, but maybe they're sensitive for your eyes. So that's when I look at things that will say, no this, no that. But I don't like fearful branding if it says no parabens. Parabens are actually good. So be careful what you pay for, because they'd be really leaning and hoping we don't know what we're buying. But that's what I have created my channel for. I want to help you guys understand different marketing schemes, scams, and ploys and plots and tricks of the game that make you spend your money, make you get chemical burns on your face, body. Lord knows I've had plenty. And it's just, I believe it's dishonesty. And as I start my brand, I want you guys to see integrity and what that looks like. I've put that all over my eyes. As you can see, I'm still going over my eyes. No problems here. Now, when I was initially applying it, it did, as I've said, it didn't have a burning. It had a burning sensation, but it does not seep into my eyes and make me cry. If there is a burning sensation, 1 out of 10. I'll say it gets a level 1 out of 10 for burn, because I've just never felt anything so light. Usually things are like this. This makes you want to rip your eyeballs out and never wear sunscreen again. I think I have to finish my video because I have some big old truck here destroying everything I've got going on. But I'm gonna put this on my legs, which I've been trying to get rid of for a while. And it's like weird because I don't wanna, but I'm going to. I guess this will be my last day. You never want to touch this for the obvious reasons, but I'm gonna clean this with a alcohol wipe, and I'm gonna just try and get rid of this all today. I'm telling you, this has had its days. You see how it's still coming out nice and big and globs? That's terrific, and it makes me want to buy the sunscreen again, although it's like the least favorite sunscreen I've ever had. It doesn't turn my body white, but it does ball up and pill. It burns the eyes. It's not flattering on the face or neck. Avoid the neck. Do not put this on the neck. And do not forget the backs. This is where everybody starts to get cellulite. And I know you can watch a million videos on cellulite. Nothing will get rid of cellulite like the sunscreen and retinol. I'll do videos on retinol in the future, but the sunscreen is terrific. I don't mind putting this one on my arms, but before I do anything with my face, I wash my hands. The leftover residue will burn, even though I didn't put on a big glob. If I touch this to my eyes at all, I'm screwed. So what I have to do is just rub it in here. Like I said, I go over where my sleeve initially is, then I put my sleeve down. I go over where my sleeve initially is, maybe even a little bit in my armpit if the sleeve is short. That way you don't get dark armpits. Now you're blaming your deodorant. Now you think it's a fragrance allergy when really, you're just not wearing your sunscreen and you like to wear crop tops. So there, I've gone up. I got a little bit in my armpit because I know I'll be moving this shirt. Of course, save them. God bless them. I want to touch my face just off of habit. Usually I kind of keep it simple and I'll use the same one for head to toe. But just for the sake of, this has got to go. This one's got to go. And you know what? I don't even have to put in. This is good. I can toss it. I'm really just going to finish this today, actually. I've been saying this for weeks about how this is almost done and I can finish it. So here I go with more. Now I've gotten the back of my legs. Now let me just finish and get the bottom.